So first question, how did working with me help see your financial life as an integrated whole rather than just a bunch of disconnected pieces?
I'd have to say that you did an excellent job of helping us to see the big picture, that whatever passions or desires or plans we have now in retirement, that it's all connected. If we do what we need to on the investment side, we can enjoy our years of hard work now and still, if desirous, leave some plenty for the family to inherit afterwards.
Was that somewhat of a surprise to you, or did you have a feel before you started working with me of what was really possible? And were you more inclined now to spend and enjoy that maybe than you might have been prior to us working together?
I think to some degree, yes.
Mm,
We're conservative by
yeah.
nature, and so we're not frivolous. But we understand that we've got enough to go around and still enjoy our retirement years.
Yeah. Susan, was there any when we first started working together, were there any like ahas that you had? Like, wow, holy cow, I didn't know we could do that, or wow, we're in even better shape than I thought we were before.
Probably so. I think that it helped me see that what our priorities were and that we probably did have enough money that we could, realize some of those dreams that we have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. Did you have a pretty good sense of all of what was there before we started working together, Susan?
I think I did to some degree, but I think I've seen that growing our money with you has been advantageous so that we can maybe afford to do some of the things that I wasn't sure we would be able to do.
Cool. Like what? Give me an example. Something that you were like, yeah, I'd really like to do this, but I probably won't. But now I will.
Just the ability to spend a little bit more money. Like he said, we're so conservative that I don't think we've really, utilized our resources like we maybe could have or will in the future. So that was comforting to me.
Yeah, I think we get into this saving mode for so long that when it's time to spend, it's hard to turn that new lever on. At least that's what I've experienced personally as well with a lot of my clients. It's like, oh, I can do that now? Okay, let's do it. Yeah. And to me, that's really fun. To me, honestly, that's one of the funnest things I do
Yeah.
is to do that. I really enjoy that. Any examples of where integrating different parts of the finances together? I know we would talk about investments, we talk about retirement, we talk about taxes, we talk about your estate. Any experiences there where we led to a better outcome, or you're feeling a little more confident about all of those pieces kind of meshing together now?
Well, we do feel more confident that it's meshed together. It's a work in progress. I think though we've got a general idea of where we're headed, we'll still need to tweak it from time to time. And as politics change and as the economy changes
Mhm.
and other things. But before we had some diverse investments, there was some over in this institution, some over here, and
Mhm.
401ks. But now that most of it is rolled together, it's easier to track it and to see the progress overall and
Interesting.
its impact on a secure future.
Interesting. No, that's a great comment, Rex. Because so, do you spend less time now, like keeping track of it and worrying about it or thinking about it than you did before, perhaps?
Not really.
Okay.
It's still always
Yeah.
a concern. I watch the market. I watch the economic indicators, and perhaps when I'm feeling more bold, then we'll adjust and tweak the investment so it's more heavily invested in stocks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll adjust as time goes on, and I don't think that I'm ever going to completely back away from involvement. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
though we have confidence in you in your office, it's still satisfying to know that I also have a sense for what's going on.
Interesting. Do you feel like we strike a good balance with that, Rex, where I'm kind of your co-pilot, but you feel like you're still piloting your ship?
Yeah, yeah. But I do rely upon your expertise in areas that I have absolutely no understanding of.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
You've got to have perhaps a deeper appreciation for the market as a whole. The diversity is important, but we want to take advantage of sectors that are hot and shy away a little bit from areas that are not generating the anticipated return on investment.
Great. That's awesome. Anything, let's talk a second too about the tax loss harvesting that we do. That was a fair enough concept for you, or something you were familiar with? I'm sorry, not the tax loss harvesting, the Roth conversions.
Yes, I was familiar with it. And because we didn't start early enough in the Roth conversion process when I was still employed,
Mm.
I was shying away from a lot of the Roth because analysis indicates that it would have a significant impact on taxes now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to live until I was 85 plus in order to recoup
The benefits of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
but if we can do it like we're planning on right now with a donor advised fund, then that makes total sense.
Cool. Yeah. Talk about that for a second, because we just met on that. How are we using the donor advised fund? How do you see it being advantageous for you this year?
Well, it's giving us an opportunity to plan for the future for missions for our grandchildren and other contributions that we'd like to make,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
while at the same time putting some money into a Roth and a donor advised fund and seeing sort of the best of both options there.
Okay.
It gives us a significant tax write off this year. And if there's a need to boost the amount, we could do that in future years as well.
Yeah. Get you a Roth conversion without any tax consequence,
That's right.
and give you an opportunity to give because you're charitable minded. And definitely clients who are charitable minded, when we play with taxes and work with taxes, we just have a lot more levers to pull, and that's worth it. So Susan, with the donor advised fund and knowing you're going to fund this bucket, is that comforting for you, or are you enjoying that, having the idea of, look, I'm now creating this legacy for ongoing gifts and things, not only to the church, but also to grandkids and other places that you may want to give? How does that feel for you? Are there some pieces there that you enjoy?
Absolutely. I think that I wasn't sure that we would ever have the money to really help our grandkids. And so that is very appealing to me. I knew we'd have money to leave our kids, although they've said they don't need it, they don't really want it. They want us to enjoy it and, to the fullest that we can in our senior years. But to me, being able to give back in a way that's not going to impact our financial situation, it was really appealing to me.
Very cool. Very cool. So something that you did that you didn't expect that you could do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anything in the advice I've given in planning that you feel like is uniquely suited for you, for your goals, for your values, for your risk tolerance? Any of the investment strategies or things where we've worked and said, like, where you felt like this is something Mitch just didn't pull off the shelf and just give to me because I'm a client, but that Mitch said, this will work specifically for you, and let's tailor it. Anything that comes to mind?
Well, in your preliminary time that we spent together before we, said yes, you tried to find out what it is we wanted to do and accomplish with our savings, our 4Ks, rolling them over into an IRA. You got a good appreciation for what our risk tolerance was. And I think that's what we feel comfortable about. We're not overly aggressive, but we're aggressive enough to allow the accounts to grow at a better than average rate.
Hmm.
We've got some diversity in there. And so, yeah, you were fast to point out options, what was based upon our risk tolerance and our desired goals, what would be recommended and what perhaps would be beyond the mark.
Interesting. No, that's cool. Yeah, because we met several times before you came on. Obviously, Rex, you've done an incredible job. I mean, you were set financially, and I knew that, and I knew how well you had done. So what drew you to begin the conversation? Tell me a little more about that experience, and Susan, I'm interested in hearing your perspectives as well from our first conversations. And what was it that finally said, you know what, I'm going to work with this guy. I think we'll do this, and I think it's worthwhile. What was that?
Can I say
Yeah.
something? he was always concerned that he had his money in the right place. And he always was asking me. And of course, I have no financial background to be
Yeah.
able to
Okay.
advise him. So I was always like, you need to ask someone that knows.
Interesting. Interesting.
And our friends that have joined on with you were very complimentary of how you've helped them grow their, investments and stuff. And so I
Yeah.
thought, why not let Mitch have a chance at it and see what he can do for us? So that was really because I thought, I'm just tired of you asking me what we should do with it because I, oh,
Well, we had talked
mean-
to several others, and the approach that they wanted to take was a real cookie cutter approach where that we shouldn't consider doing anything more than just Roth conversions.
Interesting.
And like I said, had we started doing that 20 years ago, we could have done it gradually. It would have made sense. It wouldn't have had a huge impact on taxes, and that would have been a better way to save. But we didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't an option in our case until the last few years that we were employed, and it was just too late by then.
Yeah.
Without suffering a huge impact on taxes and also a boost in our Social Security costs
Okay.
or Medicare costs.
Yeah. Your Medicare premium costs. Yeah.
so getting involved with financial advisor earlier on would probably be very beneficial for people that have aspirations as we did to be able to enjoy our retirement years.
Yeah.
We could have maybe managed it better, but we tried to do too much of it on our own for too long, I think.
So why?
So we've always been savers, and so
Yeah.
we put the maximum in the account so we could, and that has paid dividends in the end.
Yes, you've done very, very well, saved very, very well. And I know, Rex, it wasn't easy for you to give that up in some ways, right? Talk about that. And what was it that finally said, okay, because I knew that. I knew when you came in, Susan was like, let's just do this. And I didn't understand why, Susan. It's really interesting to hear the reasons behind it now. I knew that. I knew Susan was like, let's just do this. Rex, you were a little more reticent. What was it that finally said, yep, I'm going to do this?
Well, I knew that I didn't have the expertise to continue to do it on my own.
Interesting.
And when it came time that we needed to roll the Ks into an IRA, I really didn't know how to do that.
Okay.
And structure in such a way that we would have some diversity in the investments
Okay.
and a moderate amount of risk.
Okay. So it was really the conversion from K to IRA where you were like, okay, now I'm out of my league. Anything else that we talked about that you were like, okay, now I'm glad, now that we've done it, now I'm glad I hired Mitch because he's doing some things that maybe I couldn't have done on my own.
Well, when we were in the 401ks, we either had no cost, in Susan's case, to manage her 401k.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very minuscule costs
Yeah.
in my 401k to manage the assets.
Yeah.
And so it was a process coming to the conclusion that I needed to pay someone
I see.
with more expertise,
Interesting.
commission, so to speak, to manage our resources.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to come to
Yes.
because it's not a cheap experience, right? I mean,
No.
it's not a free gig. So it is not a free gig.
But if you want to cut back on your rate, you'd be fine.
Yeah, I'd be all right with that. You'd be okay with that today? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did make the decision to come and work with me. I enjoy it and continue to enjoy that. All right. So I think we've kind of gone through some of those pieces. How did you come to trust me with your finances and investments?
Well, we've known you for many years, and then a referral from your other clients was a powerful confirmation that we were headed in the right direction.
Like without that referral, Rex, would it have been a lot harder for you to have made the choice in transition?
Yes, because I didn't know anything about your skills
Interesting.
as a investment consultant, analyst, and expert. I knew you as a person.
Yeah. Right.
But I've known other good people as well in the financial world, but you never know what their skill set is, how well they manage their resources without some referrals.
Okay. Interesting. And so since the other referral was saying, this is what he's done for me, here's how it's worked, that gave you confidence.
Yes.
You're like, all right, if he can do that for you probably can do that for me. Okay, that's cool. That's very insightful. Anything, Susan, from you on that in terms of trust and some of that?
Just knowing your family and kind of your priorities in life and your personality and everything. I felt like you are a very trustworthy person. I didn't feel like I had to worry about, you know, asking you to help us manage our finances because I knew that you would have our best interests in.
I appreciate that. That's a hard one. And I tell people they got millions of dollars and they just met me and I'm asking them to give their whole life savings. And if they lose it, it's, they're in trouble. It's a big ask.
It is.
It's a big ask. And I marvel, one, that people do it, but two, I marvel and I take very seriously that respect and that responsibility and that honor, really, in doing that, because it is an honor. It's a sacred place to have that trust from someone whose whole life could go away in a day if I wasn't trustworthy, right?
Yeah. How do you sleep at night with all that pressure?
Well, that
Sometimes I
responsibility.
don't. When markets are dropping, I don't sleep all that well, to be honest with you. That's the price I pay for what I do. There's several times where there's sleepless nights, but it's usually when the markets are dropping. When markets are going up, everyone's happy. They love me and want to hang out with me. And when it's going down, I'm not so popular. So yeah, that's a little challenging. Was there a particular moment when you realized that you were in good hands in some of the things that we've been doing together? Are there any particular parts of your financial life that you felt were overwhelming or confusing before, and now I've been able to help you clarify?
Well, as I mentioned, just the rollover of the Ks, I try to stay abreast of the the
Trend.
latest in the legislation and the impacts on our personal finances and the options that may be available to us to help us minimize taxes while at the same time uh, continue to save or build the build the investment. But again, have very little expertise by comparison to you, who's done it for a living for many, many years. So
Yeah. And I appreciate, Rex, that you're so sophisticated about it. I really enjoy that. And all of my clients I say the same thing, because to me it's fun to strategize together. Like, even though you may not know the details of it, you come sometimes with the concept. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. Let's talk about that. Does it apply to you? And I enjoy doing that with clients. I enjoy that dialogue, and hopefully it's helpful to you as well or you come and I say, that probably doesn't apply to you. That's probably not the best solution. But yeah, no, I
okay.
appreciate that. Susan, any particular times when we've had a complex topic or conversation that we've had that you were like, I don't quite understand that I made it easier to understand?
I really don't know that I can think of anything specific right now. But you did help me to see that we could do a lot with our money as time passed, and that was comforting to me because I really didn't realize what the options would be, and so you made me a little bit more comfortable with the idea that we can spend money and it's going to be okay. We're not going to run out of money. We're going to not that we won't continue to be a little bit conservative, but there was more money there than I realized that we could enjoy.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's pretty consistent, Susan. Like, I hear that comment from many, especially in your situations where your husband has done an amazing job with it and has kind of dived into it and knows all the details, and you know somewhat of it. To me, that's a very consistent comment, which is like, I never knew that the money meant this. And that's what I try to do, is to make it, to create it in language that the non-CFO spouse, whether it's husband or wife, is the one who hasn't really been tracking it all the time.
Yeah.
They say exactly that. Like, I never knew that I could do, and now I can do more. And that to me, Susan, is the money. That's the satisfaction right there. That comment means a lot to me. I love that. I love hearing that, because then money, as opposed to a number on the screen, now that money means something to you. Like, it means this, and that what it happens is sentimental. It's emotional. It's something that now that money has a purpose.
Yeah.
And that's really fun. I think money is behavioral, and I think what you've said is that, right? Is that fair to say?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. We've kind of hit on that. How do you feel about the accessibility and timeliness of getting a hold of me or my updates or responses? How are things working there?
I think that's excellent. I think a quarterly review is good, and sometimes in person and sometimes just over Zoom works just fine. And if I have any burning questions, I wouldn't hesitate to give you a call or
Good,
send you a text or email.
good. No, that's awesome. Any experiences where I've supported you through market volatility or downturns or uncertain times? We haven't had a lot of those, I think, since we've started, but I guess we did earlier
Right.
this year, right? The markets dropped 20%.
Yes. And that was after I'd increased my stock percentage on
Mm,
several accounts. So,
okay.
but I was confident that it would come back,
Okay.
and it has.
Did you worry a little bit at times or no?
Oh, a little bit.
Okay.
But you've shown us historically that the stock market actually does do better than putting your money in other places over time. I mean, even if it does slip for a while, it usually comes back pretty strong.
And that helped you kind of stick through that
Yes.
rough patch?
Yes.
So that kind of talked about that. Anything about the monitoring and management that affects your confidence? Or the way that I show it to you, or the things that you can see that helps you feel that confidence?
Yeah. Just the other day when you gave me the summarized portfolio numbers, it was very informative and reassuring that we're heading in the right direction.
That you mean that long-term history, kind of
Yeah.
the since inception, seeing a few times, yeah.
And one thing we probably need to do in the future is spend some time on showing us how to use the online portal.
Oh, okay. No, that's great. I'd love to do that because that's a really cool place to see that. You can really dissect a lot of stuff very easily. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'll write that on my list. I'm glad you said that, Rex, because the other day I'm thinking, are there any clients who really use the portal much?
Mhm.
And it's good to know that there can be some value there for you.
Maybe they would if they knew how to do it a little bit easier,
Maybe, yeah.
So I don't know.
And with the things we've got coming up with QCDs and the DAF, and eventually here in a few more years, the um,
RMD,
RMDs,
yeah.
then be helpful to see that we're still making progress and heading in the right direction, pulling enough out for QCDs to allow the RMDs not to overwhelm us with taxes.
Interesting. Okay. Excellent. Let's see. This might be the same answer, but are specific results or milestones that gave you confidence that you're on track to your goals? Is it really the returns on your finances that give you that confidence, or is there any of the other tools or the communication or information that I share with you that helps you feel that that make you feel confident that you're on track to your goals?
It's a return on investment, but I do like the equation, the percentage that you have with, are you on track with where you're headed right now to not outlive your money?
Interesting. Okay, they're talking like the likelihood of success score.
Yes.
Okay. So talk a little more about that. Susan, I'm curious to hear your thoughts as well. What does it mean to you? How does it affect you? Does it change the way you think about it? Does it help you sleep at night? Like what? Tell me more about that.
Well, I like the idea of being on the higher percentage edge of
Okay.
that.
Like 100%.
Yeah,
Okay. All
that
right.
know
All
that
right.
we're heading the right direction. Because I I mean, although I've had other people tell us that we're fine, financially, that we're gonna be fine, our money is not going to run short, but just seeing that percentage is very reassuring. I mean, if it was down in the 60%, I'd be much more concerned,
Okay.
but to see it up in the 100% area is really, really comforting.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. So that number means something to you.
Yes.
It's an
Mostly
emotional.
because mostly because I don't understand a lot of the other things, but I can understand 100%.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or even 95 or whatever. I mean, it's just that you're on the upper edge of that quotient.
So I'll ask you this, Susan, because I'm always curious. If it's 75%, is that good enough for you?
I guess if we were being,
Rex says no.
if we're continuing to try and figure out ways to grow our portfolio, then it wouldn't be a terrible thing. But yeah, basically, the lower it is, the more concerned I would be.
Interesting. Okay. So you get 75% and you're like, yeah, maybe
Yeah,
not as good. Okay.
Just we cancel that big boat we got ordered.
we don't have a big boat on order.
You could buy one, Susan, and still be above 75%. So,
I know. We're good. I don't
Rex,
know if we'd use it if we did.
Rex, what about you? 100%?
Yes.
75%? What? 100%?
No, 100%.
Okay. All right. So both of you feel, even though I say like you'll still be okay at 75, do more. For you, you're like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'd rather have the 100 than the both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's just good. That's good information for me as your advisor. How have your investment results compared to your expectations?
I'd say they're in line. Wish I had a better understanding of the bond market, but you're reassuring that when those come to maturity, they'll pay dividends. But yeah, certainly staying ahead of inflation.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Thank goodness, huh?
Yes.
All right, let's see. Did you have any worries about your retirement or major life changes that our planning addressed? I don't know that you really did you?
No,
You didn't really
no.
worry much, I don't think, right? I think both of you really knew, like, okay, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Financially, yeah, that's not our worries.
Okay, yeah.
Staying healthy and active and being able to enjoy our retirement years.
Mm, mm.
Well, and if anything ever happened to Rex, I would be in a world of hurt if I didn't know I had someone that was kind of watching my back financially, because I don't have the expertise or the knowledge to be able to do that on my own. I'm very much more at peace knowing you're there in my court,
Yeah,
to kind of help me through
no, I
something like that.
appreciate that. And as we talked about before, because I've seen it happen several times, unfortunately, in my 20 years, I've had, I've had deaths, and unfortunately, it's mostly the husbands that go first, right? It
Mhm.
leaves the wife going, wow, how do I do this? And
Yeah.
you deal with the grief, and then if you had to deal with the finances on top of it, it's a double whammy. It's very, very heavy. It is overwhelming. I love that space of what I do. I enjoy helping that situation. You're not going anyway anytime soon, Rex, for a long, long
I
time.
really hope not. You never know.
You never know, do you? It's
No.
When your
hey,
number comes up, it comes up.
it does, doesn't it? What's the biggest reason that you'd recommend me as an advisor to others? If somebody said, why would I go with Mitch? What would you say?
Personable, knowledgeable.
Trustworthy.
Those are all pretty important.
Yeah.
What would you tell them if people were like nervous of finding an advisor? Maybe they've been burned in the past. They've got millions of dollars and advisors have been asking them to just give it to them. And they're definitely reticent. What would you tell them about your experience with me that would maybe help them feel a little more comfortable about giving their life savings to some guy on the screen?
Well, like I said, just you're knowledgeable. You've got good resources at your disposal to delve into, find more answers and solutions. You got other help in the office there that's expert as well. And I guess if someone was really reticent,
Ask them how well they're doing on their own, and then say,
yeah,
if you think you can manage on your own and that my skills wouldn't be, valuable to you, then go for it. But, I think everybody knows that, or at least we have learned that you can help grow portfolios and make our future even more sure.
Susan, do you want to work on my marketing team? Because that's the question I ask. Well, how's it going on your own?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that was the case with him. He just kept, trying to do it on his own. And I was like, why don't you get somebody that knows and, tap into some expertise instead of trying to figure it out on your own?
Interesting. That's super cool. So the investment options, you're just like, they're not cutting it. So it was between the investment options, the rollover, and feeling comfortable about how to do that, and then getting into new investments. That was really the main drive for you, Rex. Is that
well, yes, from the dollar and cent point
okay?
of view, but we wanted to still feel comfortable with who we went with and others who we talked to. I could never feel comfortable. They were more interested in selling you a product than they were in customizing a solution based upon your needs and your comfort level.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Have there been other things now since then that you were like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know I could do that. This is cool.
Well, on the donor advice fund, I did not know that we could set it up with a Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You're awesome. No, thank you. Thank you so much. I honestly, I learn, I'm doing this for, helping my existing clients in marketing, but there's been so much stuff that I learned today about you and about our experience together that helps me